Tonight, he looks at how advertisers have used every tasteless trick in the book to make you all buy stuff.
Now, please be aware that watching this film will make your dishes sparkle like morning dew, get rid of household odours, and make you irresistibly attractive to the opposite sex.
The mantra of modern-day advertising is clear. Ads must be legal, decent, honest, and truthful.
But it wasn't always like this. Before 1962, there were no rules, and advertisers could do what they liked. The results, to our modern eyes, were sometimes pretty shocking.
In Victorian times, black and white children were used to sell soap in a way that's totally unacceptable today. In the 1930s, cigarettes were good for your health, and in the 1950s, patronising images of women were the norm. So, in 1962, the Advertising Standards Authority was set up to regulate what was going on. In the world of advertising more than 50 years ago, what was it like?
Well, the first thing to say is that the world was different before 1962. And it's easy for us to look back at ads now and be pretty shocked by what was typical. But we've got to look at it with the filter of what standards generally were like then.
This is one of the first ads, I think, that you banned.
It features a partially clad young lady chained to the lawn. We banned it on the basis that it was likely to cause offence on the grounds that it was demeaning to women.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Nothing is more telling than the way men and women are portrayed in advertising. Gender stereotyping or sexism. Actually, what on earth am I doing in this kitchen? I'm a bloke. I don't belong here. And today, even blokes are the victims of sexism.
Then simply rinse with hot soapy water. Oven pride. So easy, a man can do it.
We got lots of complaints that it was demeaning to men.
What does this tell us about changing attitudes?
People are less tolerant now about depictions of men that people would have just thought were funny 15 years ago than they are now.
Advertisers crave attention, and Benetton got it with controversial imagery in the early 1990s and not a fluffy jumper to be seen. But this one was banned by the advertising authorities. People did not want this on hoardings. What do you think of that?
I could agree with that, yeah. It is a bit much.
It's horrible, yeah.
I can see why it was banned, but it's not that bad, is it?
No.
I can understand it upset a lot of people.
It upset,
yeah.
This image, certainly in the early 90s, we thought was just too stark and too shocking to be acceptable, so we banned the ad.
What we have seen with the Benetton ads is good use of vivid stimuli, but it's also provoking some sort of thought in people. They're not leaving you totally blank. You will want to talk about it.
There's no better way of grabbing attention than the advertiser's staple, nudity. Adverts featuring nudity have become commonplace for all kinds of products. They always get talked about, but is it possible to go too far? In 2000, when Sophie Dahl appeared on giant billboards wearing nothing but her perfume, 971 people complained.
All but, I think, one of the complaints were about the appearance of this ad on poster sites, and it's a very good example of the importance of choosing the right media when you're running a campaign. And we did ban the poster, but we didn't have a problem with the ad as it appeared in women's magazines. It is the classic example of the importance of targeting ads that are a bit controversial.
So, viewers, the most complained about commercial in the history of advertising, what was the problem? Violence? Sexism? Nudity? No. People talking with their mouths full. In 2005, this became the most complained about advert ever, with 1,671 people saying it was totally unacceptable.
Adverts that seem to somehow go against our core values is very upsetting for people. You can push boundaries, but you can't go against the things that people believe the most in.
And eating with your mouth full is completely unacceptable.
Clearly it is, yes.
One thing's for sure, 50 years ago we couldn't complain about advertising at all, and now we can complain about anything we want. And what's interesting is that when we choose to complain about an old-fashioned thing called manners.
Manners, very important indeed. Giles, thank you ever so much for that wonderful film. Marvellous.